What is the most ridiculous thing that a narcissist has ever said to you? First of all, before you consider that matter and provide me with that answer in the comments section, why do narcissists come out with what seem to be patently ridiculous comments? First of all, if you're dealing with a lesser narcissist, there is a complete lack of awareness. They do not see that what they are saying sounds stupid, is incongruous, is boasting, is bragging. They do not have the awareness because their cognitive function does not assist them in that way. And in effect, it is as if they have no filter. A mid-ranger will come out with ridiculous comments, and although they have a greater cognitive function and awareness of how to fit in, what blinds them is not so much a lack of awareness of how it sounds, but they are driven by the fact of their sense of entitlement to say what they want and their grandiosity that they are always right, such grandiosity also being applicable to lesser narcissists. But with the mid-range narcissist, this engulfing sensation of being entitled to say these things because there is always a reason, an explanation, a justification, or an excuse. Invariably, that justification or excuse is because of you. It's your fault. And therefore, the extreme, crazy, ridiculous, nonsensical almost comment of the narcissist is to the narcissist seen as entirely appropriate and proper. A greater narcissist will make outlandish comments. However, they're invariably backed up by the ability and success, for instance, of said narcissist. Where the greater narcissist may something outrageous is born out of sheer arrogance, the sheer knowledge of being brilliant and superior. And the greater narcissist will recognise that what is being said is outrageous, but is doing it purely to provoke and because it entertains the greater narcissist to be able to make such a comment and to see what the reactions are. The greater, as usual, as the master puppeteer of the highest order, is delighting in purposefully and calculatedly saying such a comment, knowing full well the effect that he wants from it, and indeed revelling in the response, not least in terms of fuel, but also because it shows that he can. The lesser and mid-range narcissists, of course, don't have that level of calculation. Therefore, their comments are an instinctive response to a situation, either to manipulate to gain fuel from the outset, or as a response to wounding, or as a response to challenge fuel. They're wounded, their fury ignites, which then means that the appropriate method of response determined by their narcissism is to make some outlandish, crazy, ridiculous statement which provokes the victim into responding and thus giving fuel which cures the wound that has been caused. Thus the fury will eventually abate. Alternatively, it is because challenge fuel has been issued, and in those circumstances, the narcissist's manipulative behaviour instinctively activates and responds by imposing a manipulation through this ridiculous and outlandish statement to assert superiority in the mind of the narcissist, again, over that victim. And therefore, the comment is made in all sincerity, and the narcissist sees it as justified, entitled. The mid-range narcissist may recognise that a person sees it as outrageous and ridiculous. He will disagree, but he understands why they think that. But any challenge to the statement will, of course, be met with complete justification. He is allowed to make such a statement. And it is you that is ridiculous. It is you that is outrageous. And you should accept and listen to this statement. Thus, outlandish, ridiculous, and astonishing statements, be they insults, boasts, brags, statements of the patently untrue, are not seen as that by the narcissist. Again, much of this relies upon the narcissist's different perspective of the world to you. You have a particular perspective which is governed by the way that you have evolved to cope with the world around you. And many other people, deemed normal and healthy, have evolved in a similar way to you. Therefore, you have a shared majority reality. Narcissists have evolved in a different way for the purpose of self-defense, survival, and thriving, and in so doing have generated an alternative way of looking at the world, and therefore have a differing reality. This is a shared minority reality, and this is why so many narcissists operate in a similar way, because they have evolved in a similar way as a coping mechanism which attracts the label of narcissism. If you want to understand more about why narcissists appear to all behave and operate from the same playbook, listen to the video Why Narcissists Operate from the Same Playbook, and that will explain it in groundbreaking and crystal clear detail. Just search for it amongst my videos. So what you have is a perceived moral majority of reality, on which a moral framework and legal framework is created, which is that which is shared by the victims of our kind, and then you have a differing perception of reality, a minority reality, which narcissists have. If you have the misfortune to be surrounded by narcissists, you may actually end up questioning yourself, because when you ask the relevant narcissists about a situation, you may find that all of them respond by condemning your behaviour, because they are looking at you and how you're interacting with them from their own minority reality, and therefore you are going to receive the same response, which makes you think that you're the one that's wrong. The fact is that you and the narcissist are both right. We are right within our reality, you are right within your reality. Many people who are victims of our kind cannot get their heads around the fact that there can be different outcomes which are both perceived as right, and this is purely as a consequence of perception. And that is why, when a narcissist comes out with something that seems truly ridiculous, it's either not truly ridiculous to the narcissist, or he can recognise why you might think that, but from his perspective, it's entirely justified because it is your fault. And that is why narcissists make ridiculous, to you at least, comments and statements. Outlandish, outrageous, crazy-making, unfounded, seemingly batshit crazy comments. So, can you think of some outrageous comments that the narcissist has made to you, be it directed at you and your behaviour, or as about the abilities of the narcissist or achievements of him or her? Let me know. Add it in the comments section. And in due course, I will comment on some of those and provide some understanding as to what was the driver further behind that and what the intended impact would be. Thank you for contributing.